Boom.
Scared shit out of my dog.
Here we go. The year is 2002. It's the year of baggy pants, West Coast choppers, Rockaware, FUBU. We start our journey as outlaws with Brian in Miami. That's how we start this journey. First, we're going to do actually an interlude. Ben, I forgot to send you but have you ever seen the interlude to Too Fast, Too Furious?
The interlude, is that when it's kind of showing him racing throughout the cities and kind of shows how he got to Miami? I know, because it was on the DVD feature when I got it, son.
Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Okay. So if you're curious as to what happens between Too Fast, Too Furious and The Fast and the Furious, Brian takes off, and he flees Los Angeles, racing from town to town is how he makes ends meet. He meets Minka Kelly. In the process, the beautiful, stunning Minka Kelly. This is a pro Minka Kelly podcast. If she ever wants to come on down, hang out. Derek Jeter didn't deserve you. And so we get to Miami through there, and it starts with a race. It's the bright lights of Miami, and Tej, played by the tremendous Ludacris.
Luda.
I don't even know if you can. Is there an adjective to describe Ludacris as because Ludacris is his name. I just thought about that. There's no the tremendous Ludacris? That just sounds funny. Doesn't matter. It's just something I thought of.
Multi-talented?
I honestly feel like he really killed that role, and that's what I guess I don't like about the new series is because it's totally opposite. Because clearly in this one, he's a street hustler, and then in all the other ones, he technically becomes like a tech Silicon Valley genius. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, fellas.
We will cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, Tej is a street hustler who we find out I don't know if it was a nickel. I don't know how much time he did, but he did some time and he doesn't bet, but he provides the fun. He's a showman. He's an entertainer. He's phenomenal at his job. And so we have 3 racers that are missing a 4th one. And that's when Brian comes in. Tej calls Brian, and we have no idea how long Brian's been in Miami, but there's the car. This is the race. We have no idea how long Brian's been in Miami, but he knows it very well. We come to find out throughout the movie that he knows it so well that he knows where.
He's pretty plugged up.
He's pretty plugged up.
He's got a nickname.
Yeah, what is his nickname?
They called him Bullet the whole movie. Everyone from Miami was calling him Bullet.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I never heard of Bullet once.
Really? It's like 4 or 5 times.
Suki literally says the mini pulls up like,
yeah, sub Bullet.
But it's cool.
Wait, Tej calls him Bullet?
They all do.
No, first I think Suki calls him Bullet, but throughout the movie they do you hear it you hear it at least 5 times, I think.
Okay. Well, there you go. So Bullet gets a call.
So, I was gonna say, so he's been there long enough to have a nickname and establish himself. So
yeah, you know what I love about the Fast and the Furious writers? I have no idea who they are, but they really want us to connect the dots, and I appreciate that about them. So 4 minutes is all Tej gives Brian or Bullet to get to the street race. He tells him where it is. He gets there. It feels like it's 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away, but he gets there in enough time to make the race and make the grand entrance. And in that, by the way, shouldn't have a lot of gas left and has to do another race, but that's entirely something different. The race.
You worried about gas consumption here?
I mean,
no. I'm not worried about it. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it. It's just something that popped up when I was watching it. I was like,
he could have had a full tank, bro.
He could have had a full tank. Well, it's fine. This is not a nitpicky deducting point. This is just something I realized. So the race happens, right? And we start off
up the stakes.
The stakes. This is okay. So the race happens. Brian big times everybody immediately. He puts his balls down and says, I'm not racing unless it's, by the way, they say 35 large, which makes you think it's $35,000. But the whole time I was like, why would they race for $35,000? It's $3,500.
Yeah. He says, let's kick it a nickel. And I'm like, okay, he wants to go to 5,000. And then what's his name? Slapjack says, no, let's do 3,500. I was like, okay, that's a fair compromise.
And then I don't know whatever the Miami dude with the beanie was. Who wears a beanie in
Slapjack?
Miami?
That's his name.
He is hilarious, man. He's actually a really good character.
You
a little sexist too.
Very,
yeah,
a little very. I'm lying. Very sexist.
Very sexist. And so they race for the 35 for the 35 large, and I mean, it picks up where it leaves off. I don't know who the fuck the action coordinator is. That's what I'm calling him. The person who decides on what the action is going to look like. This whole sequence is edited to like perfection. It's like fantastic.
Oh, it is so good.
Yeah, it's a big departure from the first movie. It's like, oh, they can make turns now. Like, okay, this is huge. This is an actual race, on a track instead of just a straight line, quarter mile at a time, And so the whole movie sets up, like the very beginning of the scene, the David Banner song comes on, and you got these pickup trucks just offloading stuff.
Did I not say that?
That's the best, man.
And the girls get down on the throat.
Yeah. Dude, that's the best. That's the best opening of the whole series, I think.
And then the Universal thing turns into like the hydraulics. I was just like, oh yeah. I forgot how dope this shit was.
I really did. I genuinely think this is really a good movie. I love this movie. I thought, and there's like a couple moments where you're like, that's kind of a pointless scene. That feels like a pointless scene. Pays off at the end. I genuinely think this movie is so much better than The Fast and the Furious. Like, I really do. I think.
Wait, the first one or the one after? I think that's the fourth one, isn't it? Because it's the Fast and the Furious, and the fourth one is the Fast and the Furious, correct?
I think the first one is the Fast and the Furious. The fourth one is Fast and the Furious. And
honestly, this
one has the other one doesn't.
Yes.
This one made me realize. I said, "Damn." I mean, Vin Diesel really can't. I love that Vin Diesel's in the franchise. I like to see him there. We got friends, we got family, but it made me realize that they really pulled in a whole lot of other characters to make the whole Fast and the Furious universe pop. Because I was like, this is good. I was like, damn, the one-liners in this shit are hilarious.
Dude, Rome is my favorite character by far.
Damn! Dude, Tyrese really killed this fucking role.
We hungry, bro.
He's incredible. I will tell you my favorite Rome line in a bit. But so so the sequence is fantastic. The editing, jump cutting into cars, out of cars. It really feels like a fucking it really feels like a Fast and the Furious movie, like in terms of like the action that we see later on in like the high crazy guns fighting action. But I'm still like enthralled. I think that's the right word, but I'm still like absolutely gassed up. No pun intended. Holy shit. No pun intended, guys.
Oh man,
it's too hot right now.
Wow. He's not even trying.
So guys. Natural.
He does it in his subconscious, man.
But
who is this guy?
But I loved in the empty streets of Miami, which has never happened, but it's fine. It's fine.
They put up the signs to make sure it was gonna be empty.
Did they?
Road
and
closed.
they had the police. Well, they had like construction cones, which I can see that. I can see you like being able to get some construction equipment, set up road close signs, so you can get a quick little racing in on a late night.
And the cops had an incentive to keep it closed because they wanted a race to happen, so Brian would show up.
That's right, which you find out later on.
I forgot about that. Okay,
it's the fucking details. It's the details. You don't know why Eva Mendes is staring down Brian after he wins the race. By the way, can we give a shout out to Tej, the showman? Puts a bridge out. He makes a bridge. He has a bridge. He
got a surprise for y'all.
Said bridge. What'd you say, Ben?
Oh no, we really said like, hey, I got a surprise for y'all. You really like, damn, I wonder what the surprise is.
Yeah,
and he said this was the last free race. He's gonna start charging for shit.
He should have.
He's a true hustler, dog. He's a hustler. Like I'm pretty sure Tez invested in Bitcoin before everyone knew it was popping.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Tej is 100% invested in Dogecoin as well. Like he's
to the moon.
Tej is in all of it. I wouldn't have been surprised if Tej is the reason there is Dogecoin. But the race happens, the bridge. Suki has a weird line, but it's okay. Absolute rocket of a person. She is stunning.
Devin
Oh,
Aoki.
I
Stunning.
forgot how fine she was, man.
Stunning.
Is
It's
she in anything
God.
else?
never seen her in anything else.
I don't think so, dude.
I think she's a model.
Her dad is the founder of Benihana.
Shut the fuck up.
So is she
really?
fucking? What's
She's Steve
that guy's-
Aoki's sister.
Get the fuck out of here.
Devin Aoki, Steve Aoki.
Okay. Someone did his due diligence and got that research done. I did not know that at all.
King of research. King of
Yeah,
research.
their father founded Benihana and then like expanded on it.
I thought she was a car model. I thought she like was one of those, those Asian car models you used to see like in the 7-Eleven
Top
and shit.
importers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
She probably started that whole thing though.
with the
She was
Mexican
like the
mommies.
first.
Yeah.
What's up?
She was probably the first that like made all that popular.
What?
That whole like Asian girl on top of a car type deal in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. So the race is an incredible whole sequence. Then once the race is over, everyone comes. The cops come to break it up, and then they come up with they have like a device all of a sudden that we see later on in the movie, which looks.
I wrote down in my notes random James Bond like device.
It's what they call an ESD harpoon launcher, and the only way it's described online anywhere is an EMP based weapon.
How much do you know? How much it goes for?
It's not a real thing.
No,
It's
I know.
Make-believe.
Okay.
But it feels like someone could create that. Like you chugging the car, electric waves, fuck your shit up.
So before, I didn't think it was a real thing until John started to describe it like it was a real thing.
It is a
and
real
I was
thing.
like, no, it's not. It's not.
It's
But
just
the
an
way-
EMP.
It's
You don't have to have it near the car. It would.
But
Just
how much
ruin it.
how much does a standard EMP go for? Because that looks like that's such an elaborate EMP that it makes me question again the budget. Like Bilkins, who we later find out who is the one who's leading this. What do you call this operation? Who's leading this operation?
Well, it's a custom agency's investigation.
Yes, so it's.
But
I think it's a combination of like LA, because it's like LAPD, then the Fed, because he works for the FBI now.
Yes, Bilkins has always worked for the FBI.
He just shows up to take cases over the top, like he did in LA, and he's doing that here.
Bilkins,
Bro, how does he still have a job?
So this is okay. I question Bilkins's decision making because so the EMP out of nowhere, it's like a harpoon EMP. They shoot it at Brian's car, which is what is the car, John?
It's the Nissan Skyline R34 GTO.
That shit is clean, and it's the one from the first movie, right?
No, it's not. It's a different one.
It's a different
so
one?
in the interlude, he finds that in Dallas.
Impound, right?
No, in like an auto dealership. Like
Oh, that's right.
Old one. He like got
right.
it painted and everything. I mentioned it in last week's episode. The worth, it's like $250,000. That specific car, the one that Paul Walker eventually owned after this movie. But that car is still not legal as like a
Street
basic
legal.
model in America yet. In 2025, it'll be street legal. You can have them modified to be legal, but that's another 10 grand at least.
This definitely made me want to like up my car game. Like I was like looking for I can't even think of when you bought it. When you put like the little layer things on you, basically you suit my car up, Put some like fucking random Japanese stickers on it.
Yeah,
Just
Suki. That's what
Suki
Suki. Or
designs.
that's Suki. That's what. Suki was designing that on the when Tej was doing the races.
How funny was it when Rome was like, "That's some artistic shit," and then Brian like couldn't care less, couldn't be bothered by it. Like, yeah, she's good. She does that shit all the time. Like I always. And then he just moves on.
Bro, Paul Walker, he's just a cool ass guy, dog. He's so cool.
Okay, so let's get back to just the story. So
Sorry.
okay, so he's picked up by the FBI, and then Bilkins again. I don't know why he wants Brian, but it's back together. And this is what's so confusing is like, why does Bilkins trust Brian? He just with this case because here's my thing. Wouldn't it be easier to find an undercover cop that can drive, or an undercover FBI agent that can drive, as opposed to finding the guy that, I guess maybe it's just convenient for them that he's in Miami. Bilkins is like, whoa,
I was just
Well,
gonna
he was
say,
probably looking. Oh no, my bad. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, how convenient is it that they need a driver,
a wheel
and they have an investigation in Miami where he happens to be that needs a driver? Like, do they know he was there the whole time and they just ran up on him whenever they needed him, and they just like hung back?
I don't know,
Or is it
man.
just
I don't
all
know.
major coincidence?
Maybe they were looking for him, and it just happened to be. Well, what I'm guessing is they probably just found out he was in Miami, or and they're going undercover, and bam, they just were like, "Hey, dude, you're here. We need some street racers." And
So if this case was happened to be solved in New York, they'd be like, let's look for another ex-cop that turned against us that can drive. And
That's what's so crazy.
Well, I think they were looking for someone that comes from that world, and he kind of knows, like, okay, the fact that he was able to get in with Toretto and be able to get him to trust him, he probably thinks this is probably our guy.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest leap in this whole story.
Sure, yeah, for sure. But you know what? I'll take the leap, no problem. It's not even an issue. I will take any leap they ask me to leap. The moment I stopped questioning anything was the moment in 5 or 6 when Dom and Brian escape whatever they escape and jump from a ravine in a car. That was it.
That was pretty baller.
Like, hey, listen, I'll never question another thing that happens in this movie. I will just accept it as truth and move on because it's beautiful. So Bilkins just trusts Brian, who it feels like maybe, I don't know how long it was ago, but totally did not do the one thing he was supposed to do and then became an outlaw. But he was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try and trust him again. Bilkins grew out a mustache and a soul patch because he's in Miami. That's all I know.
Man, that's a fun. Hey, fast forward line. He was just like, it's my day off when he has that Hawaiian t-shirt.
That's amazing.
So Bilkins has changed, man. Bilkins don't give a fuck, man. I don't know what happened, but they debrief him on what what the plan is, because they have an Eva Mendes is an undercover FBI agent, I'm assuming.
Customs agent,
excuse me. It's just all...
Which I had a problem with. I'm like, when the fuck does Customs get this involved in stuff? Like,
Customs doesn't have a budget for an EMP harpoon gun.
Customs is like carrying a clipboard at warehouses in airports.
Well, you think they're working with... how did it get... that doesn't make any sense.
Customs shouldn't have like a SEAL Team 6 team like this showing here.
Now that you're thinking about it, because I was going to say, well, weren't they working with like the Miami PD and like the SWAT? But then I was like, no, because the whole time the cops were like they were undercover and the cops were trying to arrest them. So I don't know how they afford any of that shit.
And then like when they shoot at him, what's his name says, I'm a federal agent. I'm like, okay, dude, but you work for Customs. Like, go just check shit at the airport.
Is that one dude that's drinking out of that big ass pizza cup, Gallows Pizza?
We'll get to that, which is a fantastic
That's the
scene.
other one, yeah.
But I just want to go to Bilkins again real quick. Can't we argue that Bilkins is once again the bottom of the totem pole? Like but also, is he the bottom of the totem pole? Because this guy Vereen, who is part of the debriefing, the crime boss Vereen, the fakest Latino, Verone, the fakest Latino of all time. He doesn't even pretend to be.
He's
Latino.
Argentine.
Yeah,
he's from Argentina.
That's a stretch.
Those are like, bro. He looks like he's from Argentina.
Yeah, he does.
Not.
He does.
He does, bro.
Argentines are very, very Italian.
He looks like he looks like a Latin cartel boss.
I know.
He's pretty scary.
It's not. What I'm saying.
He looks like you. What are you talking about?
He's a fucking white guy. At least an Argentinian is Italian looking, and he's got a big nose. Like, this guy's clearly like...
No, in South America, there are some South Americans that look pretty Caucasian.
No, I know, but
I mean, look at Lionel Messi. He's Argentine.
You're not down with Verone, though?
Yeah, I know he's Argentinian. I can tell he's Argentinian. I can tell he's Latino. This guy's not Latino. This guy doesn't even look.
He's
Latino.
at least half. He's born in Argentina.
I don't know, dude. He looked pretty Latino to me. But
I don't think he looked pretty Latino. I think he looked somewhat Latino, enough to be convincing. And knowing the actor Cole Hauser, I mean, he grew up in Massachusetts, so it's like.
Yeah, That's what I'm saying. He does
Well,
it.
if you've seen his work before this, he was in Good Will Hunting as one of the buddies that fixed up the car, right? So
It's a very
maybe they
Latino
saw
thing to
that and they
do.
were like, he belongs in a car movie.
It's a very Latino
Yeah,
thing to
let's
do.
not focus on the little details. We can safely say that he crushed that role. Like,
But that's different. Exactly. That's a whole different thing. I agree. I think he was I think he absolutely dominated this role.
But
He
Brian,
was
to your
such a-
point, I think they haven't brought him back for that very reason. They're like, well, we can't just put this white guy in a Latino role and
Because you
continue.
know who looks Argentinian and who plays a Cuban is the bad guy in Bad Boys 2, Johnny Tapia. Johnny Tapia legitimately looks Argentinian. Like he looks Italian. He could be
No,
Italian.
you don't know what an Argentine looks like, is what you're telling me.
I don't think so. I don't know if you've ever been
Bro,
to South America.
my uncle's Argentinian.
I dated
Okay.
one in college.
I know all about Argentinians. I know about Meat Fridays, baby.
I don't even. Yeah,
You guys
you're
don't know
talking
about Meat
from
Fridays?
you're talking about a black guy from the suburbs. I mean, I don't know what that is.
It's just
All I know is
it's a lot of
we hungry though.
carne on Fridays. Yeah, no, he doesn't look Argentinian. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's not even close.
It's Argentine, by the way.
Oh well, in Spanish we call it Argentino. So I just say
Wait, is he the same? He's the same crime boss in All About the Benjamins, no?
Oh man, that's a
I don't
callback.
know.
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about though, because it's a Latin crime boss on All About the Benjamins.
Also in Miami.
I'll take place,
I
but it's
love
cool.
any
We're
movie-
saying
any movie that has a setting in Miami automatically has
it's a go, dude.
It's a go. You except for Scarface. I don't like Scarface. I think Scarface sucks.
Whoa.
Scarface does suck. It's not good.
Oh man, come on.
Al
Come on.
Pacino's hilarious. Al Pacino's a comedian to me. Okay. He really is.
Never
Okay.
talk
The
after this.
disrespect. John, do you hear this?
I can't believe what I just heard.
Someone come get this man. And they just put that shit on Netflix too.
Okay. So we get to the debrief. We get to the by the way, he doesn't even have an Argentine lisp. He's from Argentina. He grew up in Argentina for a second, came here, can't even have an Argentine lisp.
Well, they didn't really go into details about. I don't know if he was born and raised in Argentina. I don't know if he just had a cousin out there. Somehow he just goes plugged in, or like I
love that.
don't know, man.
I love the idea that he just has a cousin. He's known as just like, yeah, it was an Argentine cousin. But
He's bossed up, man. He's bossed up.
But he is a psychopath. He's a legit psychopath, and we'll get to him. There's plenty of him. He's fantastic. It's a great scene though. What ends up happening is when Brian says like, "Hey, that's the guy that I'm going to work with," and then he asks him, "What kind of engine should I get? A Gallo 12 or a Gallo 24?"
Let me get my props real quick.
You got a Gallo?
Oh, no.
Get your props. Let's go, Ben.
Oh no.
Let's go, Ben.
Go ahead, ask me.
All right. What kind of engine should I get for a Gallo 12 or a Gallo 24?
24.
See, that's not even a real thing. That's the cut. I don't know. But it's fantastic. It's just a fantastic moment. And then
No,
the guy,
pizza parlors made engines.
Fair enough.
I didn't know pizza part. Yeah, thank you, John. Okay, so that's a fantastic moment, and then we jump into from there, right? Where do we go from there? We go into the
Bakersfield.
race. Tyrese Barstow.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Barstow.
We
Wow.
end up in Barstow.
Yeah. He said,
which
if you pick, it has to be my guy. You know, he's looking to give his homie some redemption, which is dope. This movie is about redemption, friendship, brotherhood.
Once again, we
And
hit those
bitches.
themes. We're about to we. That's what you find out later in this movie, which wins me over, is the themes. Like this movie really won me over the Fast and the Furious. Like hands down, I love this movie so much more. From just like you get to see who Brian really is in those moments. You find out why Brian let Dom go. It's
Yeah.
basically like a fantastic moment. They go Barstow with Bilkins.
He's at the Derby, dog, or what is it? Fucking, it's not the roller derby, but the car derby, or either
Yeah.
where Barstow I just remember watching this movie because it came out 2003. I'm pretty sure I was in junior high. And I just remember, like, dude, Barstow looks like it sucks, and I would never want to fucking live there. You know, it
It
just
does
pans
look
over.
terrible.
All you see is just desert and trailer parks and cactuses. I'm like, oh hell no. This is no. First, I'm thinking like this is no place for a black man. How is Tyrese's black ass in this film? That's hilarious.
So we get to Barstow, and Brian tries to get Rome to come along. We're introduced to Roman, the absolute star to me of this movie. Like
he made it, dog. He made it.
I don't even know how he didn't become a movie. Like, wasn't like, because this is around this time. It was Baby Boy. It was Too Fast, Too Furious. The Four Brothers came out like a little couple.
Hey, you're right. He was on a cool little run. He was.
John Singleton, who directed this movie, directed all those movies.
Can we?
John Singleton did it. Oh, he is a beast.
No wonder this movie's fucking
connection.
good. No
That
wonder
makes
this movie's
sense.
fucking good.
Hook, line, sinkers. Oh,
John Singleton, didn't he direct Training Day? Oh, no, that was Antoine Fuqua.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, just to go into John Singleton, he directed Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, Higher Learning, Shaft, Baby Boy, Too Fast and Furious, Four Brothers, and Abduction. That was his last one in 2011.
I love Shaft. R.I.P. man. R.I.P.
That's right. I adore all those movies that you just mentioned, and there's the reason that it's obvious now why I love this fucking movie so much.
Yeah, and he created Snowfall on FX.
Oh, bro, Snowfall's a good show, and dare I say it, it's low key fucking with The Wire.
I keep hearing this.
Is that good,
Twitter.
huh?
I keep hearing this on Twitter.
I have to wait till this last. I have to wait till this last season because The Wire is pretty good.
R.I.P. John Singleton, by the way. He passed away 2 years ago.
Rip John Singleton. I low key, I had no idea he was my favorite director. Basically, I had no idea. I had no.
Didn't know he was cooking out all your faves, dude.
Yeah, straight up, all the movies John just mentioned are like my favorite movies.
Yeah, Boys in the Hood is like greatness, man. That's just the best, I think.
Don't get much better than that, man.
But I didn't know he directed this. I didn't know he directed Four Brothers. Like he just he knocks it out of the park for me. I think this add this one to the list. So from Barstow, we get the infamous, to me, I think it's one of the best moments of the movie is, I call it the race for the cigar.
Oh, you can't forget the fight, though. You can't forget when he's just like, when they're walking up.
The fight
like,
in Barstow.
I love when he's just like, hey, dog, whatever happens, just let it slide. Because he knows, like, he knows his homie. He knows, like, it's going to get ugly. We're going to fight. And I love when he's just like, you still fight like shit. You still fight like
Yo, Brian does fight like shit. He's always on the ground getting his ass kicked and putting his legs around the other dude. I'm like, yeah, you do jujitsu, but you can't box at all, dude.
That seems like bro fighting, though. This seems like friend fighting. Like, none of you guys really know how to fight. Or maybe Roman does a little bit, but yeah.
Well, what I appreciated about, and what I continue to appreciate about Brian in these rewatches is that, and like, yo, he's impulsive. He's a badass. He's just impulsive. Like the decisions he makes are all under just like emotions. Like it's just
balls, dog.
Emotions dictate his decision making. I'm gonna let Dom go. My emotions. I'm gonna crush Mia. He almost crushed Eva Mendes, whose character I have no idea.
Asian something.
I never once. I don't know if when they were introducing her, I was just distracted. by her.
Fuentes. Sorry.
What was her name?
Monica Fuentes.
Agent, yeah.
Monica Fuentes. So, that's I appreciate that about. We'll get to Pro Club. Also, hilarious name for a club in Miami. There's, but okay. So,
Midnight at Pearl.
So.
Yo, and like the other question before you get into the story, going into all the drivers meeting up at Ron's house and us meeting Ron for the first time. Why are we all paired up? Why do the drivers need to be paired up?
Why?
I don't understand that.
I didn't even think about that. That's a great question.
Like, is it too many jobs? Is that just how it was?
Maybe
put on
because
Craigslist or what?
if one of them gets caught, at least he'll maybe get some of the money. So he's just kind of just like trying to spread it around. Because if you're just chasing one car. Because the idea is that the cops are going to be on him. They're going to be chasing him. So maybe he's trying to think like, okay.
Just get a helicopter, man.
Well,
a helicopter?
This
True,
is,
but It's Fast and Furious.
This is
not planes.
This is like the biggest thing I have about this movie that I think is really funny is why doesn't Verone why is he having an audition in the first place for this? Why isn't he calling a reference point? If you're willing to pay $200,000, why wouldn't you call somebody who
It was actually $100,000 split.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's like going to cost him $200,000 in total, which he was willing to go to immediately, probably because he's.
You're asking Verone to seek out references for these illegal street racers?
Well, with other criminal people that he knows, it's like you do that. You're like, hey, do you know a good wheelman? That's for sure how it works in the criminal underground.
Now you just get the best ones and figure it out.
I figured it out, I think, just on the spot. I think he was planning to kill him the whole time. So he wanted to find people, and that's why he was willing to go to 200 so quickly. He was like, yeah, we'll go to 200. I'm going to kill you guys anyways. It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're going to have an audition, because I don't want to burn down my network, John. Do you don't want to burn down his network? If he even has one, because he's a fucking psychopath.
And he said the house was bugged. So, like, that's why he talked to the doc. I'm like, dude, if you're that implicated, maybe move.
He's just man. So the audition.
Hilarious.
Did that guy die underneath the semi?
There's so many people that died.
He had to.
Those two drivers both died, right?
I don't see how he survived.
That Saline Mustang?
Yeah.
I remember thinking that.
Rip to the Celine.
Yo, like, if the truck drivers in the first scene of Fast and Furious just do that, there's no movie.
There's no movie.
Problem solved.
Truck drivers in Miami are different, dude. They're Cubans. Cubans fuck around with their paper, dude.
We different out here.
Yeah, Cubans are
different. Hey, it's different out
here, papi,
man.
¿Quién es este? Yo lo voy a matar.
Yeah.
They didn't even fuck around. Like, as soon as that car got in the middle, they're like, okay, you're gonna turn in a little bit more. I'm gonna turn a little bit more. I'm gonna fuck this guy up.
And I think they did that to kind of highlight that Brian and Rome are like, no, they really do this. Like, their driving talent isn't just, they don't kind of just dabble in street racing. Like, they really do this. Because that's what happened was he saw them go through it. And then he thought, like, oh, fuck, I'm about to go through too. And nah, homie, it didn't happen. He got your shit crushed like a Hot Wheel.
They were, the driving, like, this was shot. So once again, like, shout out to John Singleton, because he knows how to fucking direct. Like, because I just thought the sequence was so fucking good. Like, the cars, it's just like it was in real time. The cars like sliding, moving in and out, and when Paul Walker, this is another point. Like, Paul Walker's so emotional when he does a 180, and
he does the turn around and flips them off. I love that they were doing that, and it just showed how high their street racing level was. Because everyone else is really trying to get there, and him and Rome are literally just fucking around. Like, it's like if you and your homie are just on playing pickup basketball, and just like, they're just dominating.
Do cars really go that fast in reverse?
No.
I don't know.
Like 60.
They go 60 max.
Was he?
Yeah.
But I guess it's supercharged, so maybe. Like, also, I forgot about the drive and stare. We forgot about the drive.
I was just about to bring that up, because it's so funny how Tyrese is like so jealous that Brian, when he was just like, how can she get to ride with you? And she's like, you get the convertible.
The drive and stare is just a crazy moment, though. That's what Brian is so emotional. The moment Brian and Agent Fuentes, I love that name, Fuentes.
He is that guy, dog. Brian is that guy. He don't give a fuck, man. I think the theme is around the movie is that Brian has balls and he don't give a fuck.
He's already trying to fuck, and she's about it. You can just, it's so palpable. I think that's the right word, that it drives Verone to murder. I guess he was gonna murder them the whole time. But what I'm saying is, like, the balls that Brian has to openly try to fuck the dude, the the boss, who's paying you $100K, who's a crime lord, who's got this bad reputation. You're openly trying to fuck his chick in front of him.
Well, I guess I was gonna say flirting, but flirting leads to fucking, so you can't say that. Like, yeah, he was definitely trying to try his hand at it for sure. Put his bid in.
You
I
don't
think he was
drive and stare
dedicated to his
with
undercover role.
Sorry, John. Say that again.
I think he's dedicated to his undercover role. Like that's
Just
what
went
you gotta
straight.
do.
That is okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Like he was just trying to be like, dog, I'm a
Ben.
badass. I don't give a shit.
You don't drive and stare someone you're not trying to fuck. That's a move.
Nah, dude. I mean,
You
I
don't put
drive
your
and
life
stare,
on the
period.
line like that.
You're right, man. Mine service doesn't cover drive and stare accidents.
So the action sequence, the audition, they have to race to this point to essentially get a package
Little Haiti.
in Little Haiti to get a package. Rome rips his shirt off in the most try-hard move of.
So funny when he fucking takes his shirt off, breaks that window, and he opens the door like, you dumbass.
Where does he get the gun?
He had it on him the whole time.
I think he had it on.
Tyrese had the gun on from California?
Because remember,
No.
because remember when, because Paul was just like,
They went into the customs agency office.
He stole it.
From?
oh, he had to.
Because remember, the whole theme is pockets ain't empty, because he took Verone's cigar cutter.
But where does he take the
Oh,
gun
pants.
from?
Probably Bilkins. Dude, let's be honest. Bilkins doesn't give a fuck.
Well, we don't know how they got to Miami. Did they fly? Because I'm pretty sure they flew like private or some shit, or maybe they took a helicopter. But I remember when he was like, Brian was like, you packing? And he was like, you wait? And he was like, yeah, man, I am. That was gangster too, though. He lit his ass up. What's the name of the white officer again? The asshole guy.
It's James Remar. I know the guy's name in real life. I don't know the character. What's Agent Markham? That's what it is.
Okay. Yeah.
So we get to we have the audition. The cops think they're running. Rome starts shooting, which is
Gangster. So gangster.
crazy move. Like it's and
Homie's on parole. How does he have a gun? That's what I'm like. What's going on?
Guys, okay, let's be real. These are like ex-cons and criminals. If they want a gun, they can find a way to get a gun. Like, I don't
to the point. These guys become basically international spies. On a level they become. Once again, we're in Miami on a pit stop to space. Like these guys are fantastic at their job. Like there's a point there to Rome's point, or to Rome's like that is a good shot when Brian and Rome are confronted after the best Beverly Hills prank or homage to Beverly Hills Cop ever, when Rome goes up to him and says he goes Elio, and wait, hold on, I think I have it written down.
Elio and Fidel.
Elio and Fidel. And
¿Qué pasa, homies?
It's so bad. He calls them so many cuss words, so many bad cuss words in Spanish there.
So many homophobic
I was like,
slurs. and they lose them, and there's a confrontation between the cops as to the customs agent, but he had the customs agent who said, oh, you shot at me, there's a fight. And then Brian says, hey, if he wanted to kill you, trust me, you'd be dead. So this guy's obviously a great shot, right? Like,
it lets us know that, okay, he wasn't being reckless. He was trying to play the role. Because that's true, though. Like, at the end of the day, like, they have everything to lose. Like, they can be fucked by the feds, or they can be fucked by Verone. Like, shit.
And I think the movie does a really good job of pointing that out, because and we'll go back to after the audition, they show it back to Verone's house. Verone is the consummate asshole. Like, he is so bad at working with other people. He pulls.
But is he really an asshole, though? I don't think he's actually kind of really polite, though. No?
You think he's polite?
I don't think he said anything disrespectful. I feel like Rome kind of like.
Yeah, Rome is an asshole.
Rome was kind of being an asshole because he was kind of
Rome's
just
stealing
like,
his shit. Brian's trying to fuck his girl.
Wait, is this a Pro Verone podcast?
Rome,
No, because he fucks with a cop big time.
He's kind of gangster, dog. Because he was just like, because remember, he's like, you did all that shit for a cigar. And he's like, no, you did it for a job. I said, oh, okay, shit, all right.
But
it was an audition.
I do like John's point and your point, Ben. I think that's really great. Which is like, well, Ron stole his cutter, and then Brian's trying to fuck his girl, and he sees that. He sees that immediately. It is.
And his side piece
I don't think
like
if he knows
fighting
that
two
Brian's
sides.
I don't think if he knows Brian's trying to fuck his girl, but I do think that he can see the vibe. Like he can see like, damn, she like staring at him, thinking he's handsome, you know. And she picked the racers, so like, why would you pick this fucking Calvin Klein blue-eyed handsome? Like, why? Because everyone else is like crusty, and he's like super fresh and handsome.
That is one of the funny moments. Like everybody is absolutely over the hill. It makes
Fonzie and Fabio.
Like if she's picking all the drivers, she obviously just picked the worst drivers, and then Brian and Rome. But the audition, you find out like if Cigar, you know what? You guys kind of convinced me that he wasn't just he's just a crime lord. He's just a crime lord who's protecting his side piece from getting fucked and stopping.
Who's the cop?
A thief. Who's a cop?
Yeah, man.
Who's a cop? He's all right in his way to like do this, and so. We find out the job, which is he needs to collect some cash and move it over to a place. He's going to get out of town, getting out of Dodge. Go ahead.
By the way, that scene on the dock when they're all like, it's Fuentes, Brian, and Roman with Carter. All you need is a fucking mic on someone, any three of those people, to record this conversation.
Yeah,
and he's in prison forever. Like, how hard is this investigation? Why do you need to know the money at the end of the thing? You have three people on your side if you're the customs agency with him when there's only four people involved. You have everyone there. Record this conversation, game over, movie done.
This is something I've been thinking about. What happened?
Wait, when they're on the dock? Wait, from where?
When Carter's laying out the plan, like, and then at the end of that conversation, he's like, oh, let's meet him at a club tonight. He lays out his entire plan. You're going to take money. I'm buying off cops. And you got to get it down to this airstrip, jet strip or whatever the fuck it is. And that's all you need.
I don't know. I feel like there might be like protocols that they have to follow. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, or maybe they need to get him on. They probably want to get the most information because it's safe to say that they've been trying to catch him and just must have been trying to get away.
I guess we can suppose that they would have checked for wire. They just didn't have to show it. But this, to John's point, I just want to point this out. At a certain point, this is my JFK. This is Bilkins crooked? Is Bilkins just taking the money? Part of me is just like, what is happening that there is?
Oh no, not
Bilkins,
dog. He was wearing some nice suits, man. He has been wearing some nice suits in there.
Bilkins guy.
We don't see him that much. He's in the Miami club getting it popping. Like, what's
on his off day with a Hawaiian t-shirt and Hawaiian shirt, he's probably at a strip club.
He didn't even care. He just assumed that Brian and Fuentes had sex, that slept together, and he just put on his glasses and he was like, and walked away.
At the end, yeah.
At the end. He didn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. If Bilkins does not come back, right, at any point, he probably won't. I don't know if he's still alive.
He's probably pretty old now.
Because
he might have not been that old. So he's probably like in his
70s.
6. I mean, how old do you think he's probably like? Yeah, maybe because he's probably like 40, maybe something.
How old do you currently think he is?
I think he's in his 70s. I think
he's probably like 66 or 65, probably
68.
Let's see. Tom Barry is his name.
Shout out to Tom Barry, Pro Tom Barry podcast.
There is on Wikipedia. There's not a birthday for him.
Tells you everything you need to know.
He scrubbed it from the internet.
Yeah, he doesn't want people to know.
Damn. Hey, you got to pay a lot to get rid of that digital footprint. How do you do that?
I am born. He just says born in Cincinnati.
That smells like a crooked FBI.
Yo, this guy don't exist.
He's off the map. He's off the digital map.
Wilkins, what the fuck, dude?
So his first credit is in 1994.
What
So
was
he'd
it?
been working 7 years at that point.
Lord.
So he came into the game late.
He came into the game late. Probably was a real FBI agent, and then he said, "I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and try to make some movies." And
He was a disc jockey for a radio station in Cincinnati in the 80s.
was he ever in Bad Boys or Bad Boys 2?
No.
Damn it. That should have been a role for Bilkins. Should have been somewhere for Bilkins. I would have appreciated it. Bilkins is fantastic. So, okay. After the Verone audition, we find out he's going to get $200K. They're going to get $200K split between Roan and $100K apiece between Brian and Roan. So then there is that moment, as Ben alluded to earlier. Shout out to me for using the word alluded to in a correct way. I just wanted to point that out. I don't know.
Hey, it's cool. It's fine, dude. That's not even my vocabulary, so I wanted to know.
Ben, I didn't know I could do that. I'm hanging out with John. John did that. Shout out to John.
You're welcome.
So
John seems like he has a very intense vocabulary. Like it seems like it's very.
It's up there. No comment.
Shouldn't you say it's the altitude is high? Did I do that?
The ceiling is high.
The ceiling is high. Shit. I'm still dumb, Ben. Okay, so we get to a point where they realize, like Ben alluded to earlier, they realize that the cops are crooked. There's people trying to kill them. They don't know what's going on. They're still outlaws, and they have a plan. Brian says he's got a plan. He comes up with it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly. And at the moment, you kind of don't know what's happening, and you're like, why are they racing Fonzie and Fabio out of nowhere? This feels like kind of like a dumb
Need extra cars.
point. But yeah, you don't realize. For me, I was like, why are they racing?
Well, he did say when they were at Jimmy's shop that we're gonna need some extra cars.
He said that?
Yeah, because they were looking at the GPS wired through everything, and he's like, "We need extra cars that aren't." GPS
Basically, what
the
they're
fuck
saying,
out.
what they realize is that, man, like, yeah, we're kind of looking. They're trying to find a way out for themselves, just like a backup plan, basically. Because with the way Markin's running things, it's easily for them to get like fucked in this situation.
All right. Well, I missed that again. Shout out to me, but I thought they made that decision later on after the moment. It doesn't even matter. So they need the extra cars. There is Fabio and Fonzie. So it feels insignificant in the moment.
And he used those bus tokens, partner.
Just for me, it just felt insignificant until then. Okay.
By the way, just before that racing scene, where they race for the classic cars.
Yeah.
They walked up and they're just witnessing like all these chicks in like bikinis and shit walking through this garage area.
Dude,
how unsafe is this?
For what?
Wait, what do you mean?
How unsafe is this? Like, why are you just letting like there are cars up on like platforms and shit? Like, why you got like just chicks in bikinis walking through here to get to the dock to party?
You think they're like that? Just like an accident's gonna happen?
Oh yeah, because like in that very first party scene in the first movie, there's got to be drugs flying everywhere. It's fucking Miami, right, bro. Oh, come on.
You know what? There wasn't a huge Coke vibe in this movie. But
the club scene maybe a little bit.
Well, yeah, I don't think they can't play on it, but they just assume like, all right, bro, you guys party before, you know what this world is like. And it was a pool party too. So maybe, I don't know, pool party may be more like a drinking thing. Not a pool party, it was outside at the beach though.
Well, I think there was a lot of Coke. I think, but I didn't even pick up the like with the Fast and the Furious. There was like a huge heroin vibe. There was a huge like oh shit.
You wanted there.
I didn't get the heroin vibe in Fast and the Furious, but hey, you know,
in the
maybe after Race Wars,
Jesse for sure did heroin. There's no doubt in my mind Jesse did heroin.
He had ADHD, man. Leave him alone.
Yeah, he had ADHD.
Come on, fam. Yeah, ADHD, dog. Come on. Something about cars just calms his spirit.
Okay. So after the Coke-filled Miami, by the way, how many times do you think Coke has fallen in the ocean in Miami, just like from passerbys doing bumps or being in those parties and then they're drunk? Well, I guess Coke, but like, I'm just like, it has to happen more than it doesn't, right? Coke falling into the water.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, dude.
There are dead fish somewhere because of that.
There's sharks
in the
on
ocean.
Coke.
Yeah, man.
There are sharks on Coke. That's kind of funny. That's a kind of funny idea. Sharks on coke. Uh,
Yeah, dude, straight up, man. Like
Okay,
that Finding Nemo shark, he was definitely on cocaine, dude.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
so
saying.
going to that race,
Yes.
where the two classic cars, the orange one looks nice, but I think it's a base model pretty much. The blue one, because he says Yanko, and when he refers to it, and I was like, what the hell's that? I don't know what that is. And so it's a Yanko Camaro. So of course, John got to go down the rabbit hole and figure this shit out.
Get it,
So
John.
Yanko Chevrolet was a Chevrolet dealership located in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. It operated from 1949 to 1982. And what they did essentially is souped up Chevrolets. So they sold like very, very race modified Chevrolets up until the 1980s. So the 1969 one they show there, this guy just randomly lost because he's like, we're going to race for pinks. That car is worth like $250,000.
Damn.
And they only made like 90 of them.
Okay, so you think it was that supposed to be that type of model car?
That's what he refers it to in the movie, Yanko. Yenko.
Well, damn, I don't know if the car is as damn. I don't know how I could afford that shit.
And
well, they are street racers.
Well, they're criminals, Ben, and they probably stole them and then put some license because
true, they're criminals.
They were so willing to murder Brian and Rome as they were the ones to beat them there first. They immediately.
That's right. I forgot about that. He did pull out that gun. You're right.
Immediately pulled out the gun, which, let's say they started shooting and killed him and took the package, and then I don't know. It would just get back to
terrible movie about them.
Barone. Yeah, it would be a terrible movie about them. By the way, I felt so during the Fabio and Fonzie race, when I saw Fonzie or Fabio, the second guy that raced, I felt so bad for him because he was so old, and
that's the guy with the Yanko who lost it.
He should not have been racing that race.
Only 198 of those cars were ever built.
198
of the 1967 model.
That's crazy.
He made me feel really sad, like for his character. I was like, man, you're 45. You're still in the
No, he was
world.
way older than that, bro.
50. He was still in the criminal world. He shouldn't have been on steroids. Was going to die real soon of a heart attack. Lots of cocaine. I just
Chick was pretty hot though. At least also, the chicks were pretty hot.
Because of the car.
Yeah, they
now it's gone.
They for sure left the moment they could.
Bus tokens, bro.
The Brian Chicken moment. Once again, you're like, this guy's a fucking badass.
None of that race was believable. I was like, these cars would get dusted.
No, which cars would get dusted? The Skyline?
The foreign cars.
Yeah, they would have get American Muscle.
Well, I think they knew that because then Brian says like, we're gonna have to pull some shit out of our ass.
Which they did, yeah.
God, man, that plane chicken that you just brought up, Brian, was so badass, dude.
I thought it was pretty. I thought it was
with the death stare. Like, I'm not going fucking anywhere, dude. I will die before I let you beat me, Fonzie.
the zero respect for Fonzie in that moment, and then the car to just conveniently stall. And then he couldn't figure it out, but you're supposed to be a wheelman? You couldn't get your car started?
Well, no, I think he spent out of control, though. Like, hit his shit, and he was just, like, flustered.
All right, that's fair. So.
You get it. You just had a near-death experience. You spun out of control. You're pissed off, you know. But, hey.
We move into the most, I mean, basically, from this to, I fucking love this fucking movie. I'm just thinking about, like, from even everything we just talked about, I fucked with so hard. But then my favorite
it's
parts
so
of this
badass, dude. It definitely gives me bad boy vibes for sure.
Yo.
Is the club scene the next scene?
The pro club. Because we because we move from the race, Fonzie and Fabio, to the pro club. And then, you know, there's a couple scenes that it's the final act. It's the third act.
So it's a lot of potential in here, bruh. A lot of potential.
Yeah, the pro club, which doesn't feel like a real Miami club, but I don't know. I've never been to a Miami club. The only time I ever go to Miami is to visit my family, and I wasn't of age to go to any clubs, so I didn't. But I'm sure there are Miami clubs like that, but it was like an old Miami club. You know what I mean? It was like,
and it's 2003. You gotta realize, like, So I don't know. I remember when I was watching the club scene. I just remember it was like a whole lot of chicks and not so many. Like I don't know. The girl to guy ratio seemed off, but that's probably like in every club. I don't know.
It felt like it was just a 40. It felt like it was. No, it felt like a club restaurant. It was weird. But then again, I've never been in a Miami club.
There was like a dinner table in the middle of it all. To your point, like it was, which they were sitting at. And I'm like,
no, that was a bottle service actually. Go on.
But it was a table built for like 11 people.
Was it, bro?
It was a huge, long table.
It's Miami. We popping bottles, John. It's about to come on. We ain't hungry no more.
We need to turn the lights on and the strobe lights on. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. It's midnight. Why are the lights on? It's midnight.
It was bright as shit in there.
It was so bright.
God. Like Bad Boys, the Bad Boys original movie.
It was very well lit.
Yeah, I was gonna say the original Bad Boys did it way better with a club scene in Miami.
Damn. Okay. Now that you're comparing it, you're right because it was bright as shit in there. You're right. It definitely gave me more like cafe dinner vibe. You're right.
The club scene in Miami in Bad Boys, I swear to God, I saw vampires in that place. Yeah. Like, it was just like the perfect scenario for a person to get
funniest part of that club scene is when Martin Lawrence is getting choked out. You just.
We all did it. We all did it.
We all knew what was up. I love that you guys do that.
Miami.
That's Miami. But by the way, Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2, to me, is, besides the Lethal Weapon series, the greatest action movies of all time. Like the greatest.
Hey, you can say that shit again.
Bad Boys to me, man. Oh my God, it's absolute magic. Okay, so we're in the Pro Club. It is a weird cafe / nightclub. Brian and Agent Fuentes are basically having sex in the middle of the restaurant because the way they're flirting, everyone in that club believes that they're gonna fuck, including the criminal mob, or not mob, but the criminal warlord or whatever he is. Verone, I don't even know his first name. I feel like it should be Marco. Huh?
Carter,
the most Argentine name of all time, Carter Verone. Got it. So Carter Verone.
No, God, yeah, they could have did it better on the name for sure.
Marco.
Yeah, I love how Rome catches. Well, at first I love that banter between Agent Fuentes and Rome when he was just like, "I gotta go take a piss," and he's just like, he just really does not like her at all.
Well, he thinks she's playing both sides. I think that's why.
True, yeah.
And so.
For a second, I thought she was too. I was like, "Oh shit, I don't know."
There was a moment because you didn't know, but she does it so well. She handles it. She handles it so well. Like there's not the typical. She just handles it really well. She's very stoic in her demeanor, but it cut like her and Brian are having conversation and they're like touching and flirting and they're basically like ready to go, and it immediately. Roan shows up.
Ready to go. It wasn't that. See, you can tell there was definitely a physical connection. And you're right. She did like touch his shoulder. And then I was like, oh shit. And you just see Verone looking from the abyss like, I'm about to kill this bitch and I'm about to kill this motherfucking white boy.
I mean, he threatens her right at the end after this.
The most intense.
That shit was so that was gangster, man, and I was scared for her.
Yeah, that was I don't know how Cool Hauser hasn't gotten any more work. I don't know if it's just because he's just like every looking white guy. Or maybe he's just not. Oh, he can only play criminal Argentine mob bosses, but he's fantastic in this, and he like tells Brian, he's like, hey, you got balls. You're trying to basically sleep with my chick in front of my face.
Yeah. Yes, dude. When he asked her, he was like, she's beautiful, isn't she? And bro, he looks at her, stares, looks at him. She's gorgeous. I was like, oh, man.
He one-upped his comment. He's like, no, she's not beautiful, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Balls.
And John, the balls on this kid. What?
No wonder this dude left the cop life. It wasn't for him. You know what this movie is teaching us? Brian should never have been a cop. That's what this movie's trying to say. Should never have been a cop.
He's not. He's not about that life, man. Nah.
And then we get to the rat scene at the Pearl Club, and they use for whatever reason, I don't know this guy's name, but I can just describe him as like an undercover cop, or no, not undercover cop.
He's a detective, and he's on his payroll, and so he's been using him to help him like launder his money and like So basically, he has a plug inside the Miami PD.
Detective Whitworth, played by Mark Boone Jr., who was also on Sons of Anarchy.
Also plays a crooked cop in basically every movie he's in besides
That's true.
Sons of Anarchy.
Batman Begins.
Crooked cop.
That's wild, man. He got played like a fool too.
Miller's Crossing. Crooked cop. I just made that up. I just wanted to say one more thing.
God, what a dumbass, dude. How did he not know that chick was trying to play him? Like, you're fucking overweight, crusty dude. And this super hot blonde chick in this red dress is like rubbing your hair like, oh, I love your hair. And I was like, dude, that's just the power. Verone Carter was actually talking about like the power of the woman in seduction. And I was like, you see that woman there? She can get any man she wants.
Yo, she was so good. He thought he was in control because she was trying to pretend she wanted to stay. And he was like, no, let's go home. And she like wheeled him around the wrong way. Like if you listen to their conversation as they're walking in, she's like, no, let's stay for another song. Let's stay for another one. He's like, no, baby, let's go. So he thinks he's going out the exit and it's just a VIP room.
Oh, dude, you're right. I didn't realize that. Shit, yes. And when he walked in, God, his problem is, dude, the eagle eye. That is true.
She's good at this.
John,
that was the problem with the eagle eye. John?
Eagle eye. Eagle eye. So he needs a time window for Brian and Rome to be able to take their money and then drop it off so Verone can make his getaway. Now, there is the FBI or the police are monitoring where the money is at all times, 24/7, which is why he needs the wheelmen. And he has this cop on the payroll who's, I guess, in charge, and he wants him to give him a window. And so to get the window, he threatens basically to kill Linda, the detective's wife, and the children after he puts a rat. And this is when I was like, this guy's a badass. He grabs
this is the what the fuck scene. I like to say it because that has to be. I was like, what? When he's like, anytime a criminal is going into detail, he's like, a rat is strong enough to still chew through this. I was like, I didn't know that, but I know this dude's stomach isn't stronger than a steel pipe. Oh fuck!
That's such a good point.
I mean, this shows how crazy Verone is and how far he's willing to go to ensure that his money gets to where it needs to get. Right?
Oh yeah.
And here's the thing though too. I don't think he wanted Brian and Rome to be there, but he was like, "Oh, Brian trying to flirt with my girl. Let me just show you why you shouldn't fuck with me right now."
Yep.
Bingo. And Ben, you bring up a really funny point, which is anytime a bad guy goes into elaborate detail, it's always entertaining. It's frightening. I did not know that a rat could chew through anything when it's scared or when it needs to move where it needs to go.
When it thinks it's melting.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I didn't know the power of a rat's jaw, and the way he handles that rat is incredible. It's like he has no fear. Like I was thinking, if I was that guy, I would not handle that rat that way.
I'm fairly certain like that bucket that's all metal would just burn your stomach quicker than the rat would eat you, right?
I don't know. I have no experience. I have no experience for that.
I wouldn't know, John. Do you have like some crazy Argentinian drug lord cousins that are like?
I don't have any experience in the
around this rodeo before, boss.
I imagine that would burn.
What's the deal? Well, here's the thing, though. It's torture, so he doesn't give a. I'm sure it would too, but it's torture, so he doesn't give a.
Bro, guys, when he snaps on the detective after he gets what he wants and he points the blowtorch in his face, the look in his eyes was fucking disturbing.
Scary. Like he just wanted to kill him there, but he wanted to he wanted his money and his connection more than he wanted to kill him. But it was kind of close. He was kind of like, I really just want to kill you right now.
Do we ever get how much money it was transported?
I don't know, but it was a lot, dog. It was a lot.
It had to be.
It had to be. And let's talk about how snappy the detective was when he first walked in. When he was just like, "Oh, hey, Verone." I'm looking like, "Oh shit, you're trying to act hard, detectives." That's a no-no.
Yeah, up until like the point like he's like, "You take it off now, we'll forget about this." Like he thinks he's still got leverage.
Crazy move. That's no undercover cop I'm sorry, I keep saying undercover
Detective.
cop, but no detective who's on the take of any crime lord has leverage.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why in all these movies, all these detectives are just using.
Do they not realize I'm willing to go to lengths that you are not, because you are? There's a reason why I'm a crime lord and you're a detective, because I'm willing to do shit that you will not do.
I'll straight up put rats on people's stomachs. All right, so now we just lost
him.
We lost Ben. I don't know what happened. I think his internet booted him, but we will continue the show.
Rat chewed through his internet connection.
Rat chewed too. I don't know what happened. We lost Ben. What are you gonna do? Club scene. What are you gonna do? I love that. Low key, I'm not happy that Ben's off the thing, but I also do think it's hilarious that this is just happening. Because of course it does happen. Okay, so Pearl Club. We're out of the Pearl Club. He's got the window. The cop agreed to the window. And then we get this strange kind of like 2-second scene where you're like, what's the point of the scene? When they're playing cards. And Brian says, I'm going to go take a nap just to establish the next scene so it's not too crazy.
Yeah.
But the next scene is basically Agent Fuentes comes to the houseboat to tell Brian that they're planning on murdering him. And so now he knows, like, oh, these planning on murdering me.
And she's all wet, like she swam there.
Yeah, which is it made no sense that she took a shower or she swam there. It was like where did she swim from? Like, why?
It felt like that was edited incorrectly. Like it was just like another storyline that they were trying to put in, and just were like, well, we only have her wet. Okay, throw her in there, and we'll just make it seem like she swam up to the boat.
I think that was just an improvised like scene to try to fix a timeline or something.
Because she says like, oh, they shouldn't know I'm here. I snuck out. They don't know I'm gone. Then if that's the case, why did you swim up to the boat?
Yeah, it's just. And they also, like, how crazy is Verone to just be? He was fun.
Psycho.
He was just
very controlling.
He's very controlling, for sure.
And so, I mean, he shows up like right after that, after, Enrique and Roberto get in a fight with Brian and Rome. And honestly, so this is one of the questions I had throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Does
Tej have franchised shops? Because at the beginning of the movie, Brian's character comes from one shop to another, drives over, has to go across a bridge, and then we're at one shop, and Brian's like, yo, can Rome chill at this place? Well, why can't he be at your place, is what Tej comes back with. Yeah. So there's two separate garages with two separate docks and two separate boathouses in the back. And then Rome just wakes up that morning at Brian's spot.
I think that's the Rome houseboat.
Okay, and Brian was just crashing there for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And Rome, okay, so that makes sense because they were playing poker the night before.
Which is why they had to add that scene, that
yeah.
reshoot. I'm sure they reshoot it or something because it was like super
big reach.
It was like weird. It was like, what is happening here? It was so strange. And the put the gun down scene just felt so pointless. Like everything about that scene felt so pointless.
Yeah. So after that, she warns them. Verone shows up, and then that's when they go back to Markham and Bilkins. And Bilkins Brian tells them, "Hey, they're going to kill us at the end of this mission. It's met at an airstrip down in the Florida Keys. We got to drive down there. They're giving us a window." Dumbass Agent Dumb is like, "Well, should I contact the Miami PD to let them know?" They're like, "No, jackass. We just told you they're in cahoots with them. Like they're the one giving them the window. We can't contact the Miami PD because they might, tip off Verone to say, hey, we're going to be doing this. And so Bilkin's like, no, it's not the deal. We can't have them do this because they're going to die. And Markham's like, fuck this. This is a customs agency investigation. You're going to get it done. And I'm the one calling the shots. And if I'm like Rome or Brian, I'm like, yo, dude, like that's what our lives are at stake here. Like, and you have nothing involved here. Like this is, you've been trying for, you know, however long, a year at least, trying to get this guy. And all you have is Agent Fuentes fucking the main guy. Like it's just a little suspicious. And so I you know, Markham was definitely the villain of the movie. I think I don't even think it's Verone.
Marco.
Yeah, Markham. Yeah, Agent Markham, because he's just a dickhead.
Agent, see, I love that. Verone's just like the whole time we just been rooting for Verone. Like his chick's trying. He's a crime lord, but his chick's trying to.
His chick's trying to get. There's just two sided him. His two drivers. One's trying to fuck that chick. The other one's trying to steal everything he's got.
So, in
and his two associates are incompetent,
but
completely incompetent.
Which is strange because why does he keep them? It makes, and a thing about this movie that I want to note, and like I probably should have noted it earlier, but like to me, the Fast and Furious it's hilarious. It's like funny. Like I legitimately think this movie is really good. Like I think it's good. Ben's back.
Here he is.
He's back. Oh, audio.
Right. Yeah. So from there, I was gonna say, welcome, sir. Good to have you back. But we're just starting to the point where we're getting to the mission day, like where they go out to this, where the portable homes area, and they park up in there and they start taking down a wall inside one of these portable homes. And across the
begins.
Yeah, final act. Across the street is an undercover cop. She unfurls her newspaper and has a walkie-talkie in it, and it's like. And then we cut back to that agent that was the one that's supposed to open the window for Verone and his men for this operation. And he's like looking at his family and he's just like, should we fucking do this? Like right now, this is going to cost my family possibly if we fuck this up. And so then he ends up trying to arrest them anyway. And so from there is when we have like them escaping in their you know, Cracker Jack cars that they got out of a cereal box and, you know, make their way. They make their way to this big ass warehouse. This is one of my other complaints. I'm like, earlier before Brian goes to bed at the houseboat, he does ask Taj like, yo, how quickly can you organize? And we see the point of that comment here when they go into the warehouse and there's like 300 cars. There's 300 cars.
The Deus Ex Machina.
It's insane. And so, I mean, first off, these Dodge Ram 1500s come poking out with like guardrails in the front and just like demolish all the cops. And I'm just like, yo, like, how do you explain this to your insurance? Like,
how did they not start shooting? I was.
Yeah, if you have like 8 cars, if you have 8 trucks coming at you, you got to start shooting something, man. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's what's so crazy is that these were the most
big guns, Doug.
Oh, Ben, you're cutting up big time.
Yeah,
man.
Ben, you're cutting up.
Oh shit, am I?
Yeah, you
can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Can John hear me?
A little bit. It's cutting up big time. We can barely see you.
You barely see me at all? Dang.
It's like super blurry.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Wow, what the fuck? Give me a second.
See if you see jump off and jump back on.
I'm sure you let me do that.
So we'll go to what I was gonna say is that this is the most incompetent police officers that Miami's ever had, because one, they're constantly crashing into each other. Like in it's a comedic how often they crash into each other.
Mm-hmm.
One cop turns one way and then turns completely around, and all of a sudden every single cop car has to run into him. It's absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, it's just a fucking mess. It makes it in Miami PD like really bad. I'm wondering like if we could have a crossover with the Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Like, what would they be doing? Like, where were they? Were they on vacation when this call came in, or they were like, "Yo, we didn't looking at their commander or captain or whatever. Like, we didn't cause this one, bro. Like, this ain't on us.
Yeah,
You can't blame this one on us.
I
So
love,
like
yeah.
throughout the 90s and in the early 2000s, the Miami PD just looks really bad here.
And part of it is like they're probably not very good. Probably on. I don't know. They're just not good at their job. Like it was crazy. It didn't make any sense as to why they all kept crashing into each other. It's almost like they didn't want to participate in the chase and just said, "Fuck it, I'd rather crash." It was so strange. But so then as they're like in the final act is all action. It's fantastic. It's awesome. The final act is just a giant set piece, and they evade the cops. They switch cars. They switch into Fabio and Fonzie's cars, and they add a beautiful caveat into it, which is fantastic because it's just out of nowhere. They're gonna double cross, Elio and Fidel, and the way they do so is by putting on in a seat ejector. Now
With
we
extra
find this
NOS
out.
canisters, yeah.
We find this out when they walkie-talkie. Like, they're not coy about their plans. They're not coy at all.
Like Tyrese is like, this works in like says, hey, it worked, bro. He's gone. And in walkie-talkie, that's saying it out loud in the car.
And Elio never says like what worked. But
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how did you not hear this, dude?
And so this is one of my favorite lines. Ejectocito, cuz.
Oh my god, that's probably the best line of the whole thing.
Stay on your toes, puto. That's so good.
It's so ridiculous.
That's so good, dude. This is what I'm talking.
That's the best line of the whole fucking movie.
That's so good. Stay on your toes, puto.
I want that on a shirt.
That dude, it's so good. It's so good. So he gets ejected, goes to fucking dies.
Ejectocito, cuz.
He did ejectocito, cuz dies. Roan killed a guy and just laughs and keeps driving. And Ben, here we go. Ben.
We got him. We got him. He's
Okay.
like, you got a laptop, homie? Because that's
Nah, I couldn't do it. My shit was malfunctioning. That's what it was. I had to use my cell phone, so I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But
yeah,
how's my am I still good now?
You're good. You're
a little bit better, yeah.
We just got to ejectocito, cuz.
Oh no, I wanted to say ejectocito. Damn.
Do you want to say stay on your toes, puto?
Stay on your toes, puto.
I'll
Say that. I'll say that.
just
I'll say
feels
that
good.
part right there. I'll say that part.
Just feels
All right,
good.
Sam.
All right, hit it, Ben.
Ejectocito, cuz. But no, that was that racing was dope though. Like you guys were saying with 200,000 cars, the monster trucks, fucking at the police officers, the incompetent police force. My baby Suki, putting her livelihood on the line for Brian.
She did put up, which, by the way, at what point did she start just outright just fucking ludicrous? I mean, like, I know she's like, hey, give me a call. I guess he just acted
The front
really
end work,
fast.
bro.
Well, I mean, Ludacris, it kind of shows you Ludacris has been he's been dropping that poison in there,
Nuggets.
Since the one where he's like, damn, Suki, when you gonna let me pop that clutch?
And the next scene, they're together.
Just operates quickly. And so Suki and Ludacris, Tej, are driving Roan and Brian's vehicles. They get cornered by the police. But by the way, the look on Bilkin's face when all those cars come out of the garage and Bilkins smiles like, that's why I hired
this motherfucker.
And I was like, dog, what? He's fucking you again. Like, this is like a whole situation again where you find yourself like, it's ridiculous. He's just like, and that's, well, I guess he's not fucking him. I guess.
Well, I think what he knew was
helping
he
him
knew
out.
what Markin's plan. He said, "There's no way," because remember he wanted them to pull out because he said, "All right, man, I want you to get your record clean, but you getting killed wasn't like an option."
So we get Ejectocito cuz, stand your toes, puto, just happened, right? And then Brian's about to pull the Ejectocito cuz move. Then at the last second, Elio goes, we're not going to the airport. We're switching. And then Brian does the math and he goes, my agent Fuentes is in trouble. And then Rome figures that out when they get to the area, and he's like, plans changed or whatever. And they get to the destination where there's a yacht. My favorite part of this movie's coming up. Well, I guess it's I love this. The last 30 minutes of this movie are fucking awesome.
Gosh, man, talk about really bringing it home.
The heat. It was just heat. It was Miami heat. It was a heater. I didn't mean to do that.
Because if you're watching this as a young man, and even now I was juiced, but bro, young man Ben was just over there like, this is the greatest shit I've ever experienced. Man.
I love that Rome was like, oh, we're about to get our Dukes of Hazzard on. And like toss this orange car, and in off a jump that we don't even know if it's there or not. Like it just happens to be there. He's pulling 120 down this bankway, and you're like, okay, well, we'll see where this goes. Hopefully, we got something to lift the car into the air to get onto the boat.
When so lucky.
Boat, car, boat, car. And typical black response too, and that's why I think I like Rome, because his one-liners are just hilarious, and they're kind of realistic. Like, you crazy ass white boy.
Yeah, right.
And so before the fantastic Dukes of Hazzard meets Miami Vice scene, we get into Brian gets to it and sees Verone, and Verone is very upset because he finds out that Fuentes is an agent, and then he takes her on the boat. He asks for Brian to be killed by Elio, and he does the ejecto seat. Does not work. And then, lucky for him, Rome's fast driver saves him, beat him up. They get into this slugfest. They get it.
Can we get back on? They just beat the shit out of his ass, man.
They took too much time. There was a moment where they kept coming back and
no, they took the perfect amount of time.
I think they've been waiting. Well, here's the thing, though. The whole movie, they have been fucking with him, talking shit. So they've kind of been waiting to beat his ass. It
was the perfect amount of time because they had to race that car down at the same speed as which the boat was moving to jump on it correctly.
Yeah, they needed that extra face stomp. And then they get into the car. They drive the car, like John says. They're just lucky. Like, I don't know if he saw it earlier. I don't know when he saw it. I don't know how he could have possibly have seen it. But he just drives. And that's what Brian does. He just drives.
I think Rome even's like, do you have a plan? He's like, no.
Like, what would have happened? Like,
what a badass, man!
You don't just drive a 1970 Dodge Challenger RT like into nothing. Like, it's pointless.
Well, that's the thing, though, right? Like, if he has no plan and he drives off and there's no bank, they just drive the car into the water. They get out of the car and they swim. Brian would just swim to the boat and then get on the boat and then kill everybody in classic Brian fashion. But they don't. There's a bank. He jumps. John, you don't think he could kill?
No.
Brian, John, he's a super spy.
Not yet.
He retires.
His skills.
I don't think he's a super spy. He's just a badass, man. I think he's a badass, and we have to realize that the art of not giving a fuck is a skill set. And guess what? Sometimes it kind of helps you out in these crazy scenarios, especially Fast and Furious.
Remember, Brian's not with the FBI yet, so he hasn't gone through Quantico training. Like, he's just LAPD.
That's how much Bilkins loves him, though. Bilkins makes him an FBI agent.
Brian goes from wanting to open a garage to wanting to go back into police work because Bilkins is such a nice guy.
He's impulsive.
A part of me kind of does. A part of me is kind of mad that they went that route. Because as much as I like Tokyo Drift, and that chick is super hot, and I feel like that's 50% of the reason why I like that movie. And Little Bow Wow was in it,
Shout out to Bow Wow.
But I was like, dog, I feel like that third one should have been like, they should have opened up the garage, and my hand have popped off. Like, the past caught up with them, but that's a story, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there, fellas.
Story for another day. And we wrap it up as Brian drives the car on a yacht with a lot of hang time and shoots at Rome, hands Brian a pistol, and he sees it there, grabs it, shoots him before Verone can shoot the shotgun, and it's done. Case is closed. Book him, Dano. And the best part of the movie is once they give and return all the bags, they're on their way out. We get the fantastic, infamous line. I believe at this point it's infamous. Ben, do you want to hit us with it?
Wait, Rome's or Brian's part?
You can do Rome's part.
Okay, I got you.
Or you can do both. You can do the scene. Do the scene. Do the scene.
Okay, guys, let me paint this picture for you. Okay, we have a sweaty Roman and a sweaty Brian Connor. Just got patched up by the ambulance people, the EMTs, walking out. Pockets ain't empty, cuz. And we ain't hungry no more either. That is just the most. How about like I'm here with my nigga. We just did some crazy ass shit. We got money in our pocket. I got this badass custom Latina agent that I'm probably gonna be able to slice and dice later on this journey. And you just, gosh, and don't let me. Then when you hear that Joe Budden pump it up in the background, I'm just like, dog. Is there a better ending, fellas? Is there a better ending?
Dude, the soundtrack for this one is the best out of the whole series.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, John. Totally agree. From the first song. And another side note, if I could bring this up, the thing I do like about this movie is realistic with injuries. And these other Fast and Furiouses, the one with fucking Jason Statham will and they'll run into cars and be able to get out and whoop ass right away. At least for this one, when they crashed onto the boat, it showed that they was fucked up. Like he was like, my arm is broke. Brian was sitting here like, damn, this was not a good idea.
It's terrible, yeah.
They were sitting there fucked up for a minute. Which I can respect because that's realistic. You're not going to drive out there and be like, where's she at? And bust out and start shooting right away like they do in these fucking Fast Nines. Because apparently, they're superheroes and they don't feel pain.
I love how you're like, I love that this part of the Fast and Furious is realistic. The rest, though.
The rest, yeah. If you're going to jump on a boat, you're going to be hurt afterwards. You're not going to be able to just hop out and start busting caps.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, whiplash, big time.
Okay, so that is the movie, but we got some history and some so a little bit of domestic and box office stuff, or what do we got?
Yeah, I was going to mention this earlier. It came out June 6, 2003. It grossed $236 million, which at the time is a lot, but nowadays that's not stiffing anything because they're making close to $1 billion per movie now.
Which is
the budget was $76 million, which nice return.
Yeah.
Especially for one that's not including Vin Diesel. I think that's what hurt it a little bit. And Ben, to your point, why they didn't continue this storyline with these two guys is because it didn't make as much money as they thought it did. And on Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes, it was terrible, negative reviews. Quoted, won't tax the brain cells. It was nominated for 2 awards at the Raspberry Awards, or Golden Raspberry Awards, which is considered the shitty, Oscars.
Yeah, the Oscars for bad movies.
Yeah, and so also this was
people
written.
Just have horrible taste. God, what is wrong with people? Because this is a great movie. I
agree,
get it.
Ben.
I don't get it.
What else? You got?
So this kind of started the career for 2 writers, Michael Brandt and Derek Hawes. They're a writing team together. This is where they kind of started. This was their first full feature length movie. They also wrote the remake 310 to Yuma, and then that Wanted movie called Wanted with Angelina Jolie and James McAvoy, where they spin the bullets.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I don't know if you like that movie. It was a little ridiculous.
I fucked it. It was crazy. What a crazy
that movie's kind of popping though. I ain't gonna let that kind of popping. I liked it. I can't lie.
And so they also wrote the script and produced the film Overdrive, which starred Scott Eastwood. I don't think I've ever watched that. But now they're the executive producers for Chicago Fire. And I think Chicago Medical on NBC. So that's what they do now. So their career went from this movie straight the fuck down the tank.
It did.
Nah, dude. Chicago Fire is actually a pretty good show. I think it's been on for 8-10 seasons.
But you're going from making creating movies that make upwards of $200 million to an NBC show.
Are writers are these producers or the writers?
They're writers.
They're writers of the show because they're executive producers of the show. They're in charge though. They're executive producers. They're in charge of
That's
Chicago.
wild because honestly, the banter back and forth between the characters, the character development, the way you see Brian Rilla and how they connected with Rome and Dominic Toretto was kind of like, okay, this is kind of redemption for my boy. And yeah, that is the kind of reason why I let Dom go. I feel like that tied perfectly into the Fast and the Furious storyline, but I don't know. People
I have a feeling that's John Singleton's doing. Like he probably rewrote a lot of stuff on the day and was just like, we're gonna have this like this, because in Singleton's previous movies, like in Boys in the Hood, that brotherhood type atmosphere and relationship between the characters is so evident. And then you look at Haas and what's this other kid's names, like all their other writing stuff, it's not there at all. So I have a feeling Singleton like went and rewrote a lot of the stuff and just like,
okay,
That makes sense. That
I
shit
feel like he
happens all
let
the time.
Tyrese ad lib too, because
Yeah.
sometimes I really feel like
He just saying shit.
Tyrese is not even. A part of me thinks I feel like John Singleton's like, Tyrese. He's like Tyrese is probably like, John, I don't got my script. Just come on the set and we'll just figure it out.
Yeah. He's just like, he probably tells him, hey, Tyrese, do your thing, man. Because I remember in Transformers, it's my favorite line in the movie Transformers is when he's like a soldier or whatever the fuck he is, and he's seeing the Transformers for the first time, and he's phoning in help, and he's like, I don't know, man. If you've seen this shit, that is just like it's unbelievable. It's still to this day like one of my favorite lines ever. I'm like, man, I believed him. Like that was very believable.
I feel like he just be acting like himself, dog. Because I'd be like, in Transformers would be like, damn, Tyrese, what would you do if you saw this big ass robot? Damn, dog, that's a big ass robot.
Yeah, he just goes crazy. Do we have
so at the end of this, like, what do you think happens to Eva Mendes' character and then the Agent Bilkins? Like, do they ever come back?
Bilkins retires.
Yeah,
Bilkins retires. He realizes this is a young man's game. And clearly, I'm not driving boats on the fucking yachts and shooting shit up.
That's the moment where he goes, I'm not doing this again anymore. Fuentes has to have gotten a promotion because she was undercover for 11 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, plus the trauma she had to deal with because
she lives in a mansion, bro.
11 and a half months dealing with that psychopath.
I mean, he could have been a nice guy. Who knows?
A nice guy.
I love this spin zone that you two have created.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Probably a great guy in the mansion. Probably like Taco Tuesdays.
Well, here's the thing, though. He is a drug dealer, but I don't think that means he's like disrespecting women and treating them like shit. But I do believe that he is prideful, and he's like, "Girl, I'm over here." Because you got to look at it from his point of view, dude. I'm a freaking drug kingpin. I live in this big ass mansion. Does he own that club that they went to?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he does. And you about to curve me to the left for a street racer? No. I'm gonna have to go crazy and boss up on you real quick.
I love this spin zone, guys.
I want to know what's the count on how many times Paul Walker says "cuz."
3.
Man. It worked though, because it made sense. Because I was like, if you're a white boy from like Southern California, you're in the Chino area. I was like, because Paul Walker kind of does seem like the quote unquote the white boy that can come around, that can hang around the brothers and kick it.
Yeah, I think him and Tyrese were like really good friends in real life.
Well, this is peak white guy. This is 2002. This is when you
Paul
wanted
Walker
to be a white guy.
White
What's up?
No, I said Paul Walker is like the coolest white boy, dude.
He's a cool white boy. Because
at the time, who were the most popular white guys? Like, right, Kid Rock, Fred Durst.
I don't know. There's no way.
John did not say Kid Rock.
Kid Rock
was though. I can't be mad
at the time.
He was a popular white guy.
2003, Kid Rock was popular.
But that's what I'm saying. This is peak white guy for a reason. Only in peak white guy can Kid Rock, Detroit's very own, become very popular with a song that goes ba with the ba, da bang, da bang, diggy diggy, iggy sicka boogie, jump the boogie. No other race, no other minority, black people, Latino people, Asian people, if they came up with a song that had straight up gibberish, it wouldn't sell. They wouldn't put it on the. This motherfucker put on a song and said "ba with the ba."
He's like white young thug, dude.
He's like white young. I love Young Thug. I love Young Thug. It's fantastic.
But anyway, so after this, what comes Tokyo Drift? I think they just wanted to kind of try a different part of the world with different characters, start a new story because they couldn't get Vin Diesel back, and like they were desperately wanting him back, and finally they did in
I don't
Fast.
think,
Was it 4?
bruh, to be real, I like Vin Diesel and I appreciate him for the franchise, but I really don't think he makes this franchise. Because Too Fast and the Furious was good and Vin Diesel wasn't in it. And Tokyo Drift, like you were saying, John, they're probably just like, okay, let's just go to another part of the world and change characters completely. But honestly, I feel like you could have put Brian in that role and it still would have worked. Not in high school though, but they would have had to be a little bit
So
older.
I was looking into this, and the reason that Vin Diesel didn't do the second Fast and Furious movie is because he went to go do Chronicles of Riddick, which I think was pretty good. It was decent, but it wasn't a Fast and Furious movie.
Nah, the first one is dope. All the ones after that are kind of trash.
Well, the thing is, now he's like an executive producer on all these, and he makes millions and millions.
It was the right play, dude, because he leveraged the fuck out of it, and he came back, and they begged for him to come back, and finally, when he did, it made all the money. Like I kind of agree with you. I think Paul Walker's like kind of the heart and soul of all these, but
they had to bring back everybody though, like everybody.
Yeah, but like, why are these movies like popular? It's because they're the import cars, not because of the muscle cars. And Dom Toretto's into the muscle cars. The cars that are popular in all these movies are the imports, not the muscle cars.
That's true. Dominic Toretto, whatever the fuck you're doing, well,
he just has the same black car like in every movie.
Somehow they made all those movies. Somehow they made all those movies connect too. How?
I mean, it's just wait. What'd you say, Ben?
I said somehow they made all those movies connect to, like after Tokyo Drift.
It's bonkers. Like Beverly Hills Cop. The Alien and Fidel were my favorite scene. My favorite quote. You think I'm gonna let someone stare me down? I didn't let anyone stare me down in jail, homeboy. What makes you think I'm gonna let someone stare me down at the beach? That's fucking.
And what was my favorite quote? Damn, what did I put down as my favorite quote?
That was the Ejecto-Cito scene, like that. All of that gold. He revised all of that.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Like no one's writing that.
Ejecto-Cito, cuz.
Yeah,
I put the beach one too. Okay, my favorite quote was when they first walk into like the garage / pool party / rave / cocaine fest was damn girl, I can help you put that fire out. He sees the hot chick walk crazy. He's like, did you see the bubble on that? Like John was saying, there's no way you can, like, that's improv, dog. No one's writing that. That's Tyrese.
The main point of this is like, I think the themes were, once again, Fast and Furious just fucking dominates themes. It's a theme dominator. Family, friendship, redemption, brotherhood.
Yes.
Any last things before we wrap it up?
Let me see what I put.
I can't wait till next week. Are we doing Tokyo Drift, or are we continuing chronologically?
Tokyo Drift, with how they were released.
Okay. Can't wait.
Okay.
There's so many cultural moments in that to hint on, but hit on, but man, it's a good one too.
Tokyo Drift. Dude, honestly, what's the name of that actress? Because she is so fine, man.
I don't think she's done anything else, so unfortunately.
Probably not in America.
Yeah, and what's that movie? I can't even think of it. Take Me Home Tonight. She's done that. I'm pretty sure she was like a model / actress, and she was probably like catered more toward the modeling. I'm trying to save face because she's so hot.
That's definitely the brightest movie after this one out of all of them. Like all the colors and cars and shit. Obviously Tokyo is insane, but Miami, it takes the cake for that, for this one, I think.
Yeah, I can't believe they got it. Oh no, go ahead, dude.
No, sorry, Ben. I didn't mean to. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the same thing. Love Miami, love all the cars. Just like the brightness. There's just a lot of sun in this one. It's just a very bright, fun. It's a fun popcorn flick. It's a fun flick you can watch with your boys and be like, "This is dope, dog. This is dope."
It was. I just loved it so much. I think it's better than the Fast and Furious. I'm going to keep a tally which one I think is the best. I mean, it's Brazil's going to win, but I guess who's going to be second best. But every part of this I loved. I suspended disbelief. And I think, that's it. We should wrap it up. Thank you for listening. Follow the Instagram at First Team Second String. Follow the TikTok at First Team Second String. Follow me on Twitter at Brian_Alonzo. And then follow us on YouTube, First Team Second String. And then Ben, did Double Talk? Are you doing that?
Double Talk. But right now we're just recording episodes, getting that content out there. So then, like I said, in a few weeks we can just fire off multiple episodes.
Okay.
But yeah, Double Talk. Stay tuned.
Look for
follow
that.
me on Instagram, brownskin_Ken. And hey, we ain't hungry no more.
And on that note, I hope you enjoyed the show.